Hi YouTube. I am going to go over how I made labels for the clothes that I've been sewing. It's good to kind of put your label into something that you sew, even if you don't sell it or whatever. So this was a label that I did for my honey's shorts, and if you can see, it says sewn by That's Sew Sandra, and I just used a little pink bow for the graphic. And what I did was, I always use Microsoft Word table. I don't really use the address labels. I do the table thing. And how I do my table thing is I start off on the table. It says insert table, and they ask you how many columns, how many rows. I always put like one row, 3 columns, just one then, okay? And what I do is I will write it in one, copy, paste, 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 and I copy the whole thing and go paste, 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 all the way down to my page and fill my page. Now, if I only had 2 columns, I would write what I wanted, copy it here, and then just go all the way down. Or if you, sometimes when I'm really lazy, I copy, then I copy this whole thing and copy it again. But, so when I did this, as you can see, is backwards. The Microsoft Word does not come out backward, and you need it to be backward for you to use the iron-on transfers. So what you do is, here's how I did this. I don't know if you could do this in Microsoft Paint. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with Microsoft Paint. I know a little bit about Word. And what my honey did was, after I did it, because I did this. This was my failed attempt. And I noticed when I did it on my stuff, it was backwards, because it needed to look like that. But this was a failed attempt, because let me come back to that. Let me finish with this first. So he went into Microsoft Paint, and it said rotate 180 or different things, and on the bottom it said flip or something, and he flipped it. And it has to be backwards in order for it to be correct when you iron it on. So after he did that, we saved it, and first it came out very little. It came out very little, so check your size. And he made sure it was the right size. And then we saved it, and we got the iron-on transfers. I got these iron-on transfers from a thrift store. You know, I'm always at a thrift store. And I thought it would be good to use for something. I wasn't quite sure, and they were cheap, so I said, So the iron-on transfers look like this. You can probably get it at Staples or anywhere. I mean, you could probably get it different places. This is the side that you don't use. You put, in my printer, I go face down because the printer goes up like that. This is the side that prints on, the white side. And what I did was I printed it, and it came out backwards like this, which is good. Then, instead of using the whole thing, because you've got to put your press down, no steam, but you got to press down and then up, and I pressed for a while, but it's hard to know what you're pressing on here. Some of this was pressed good, some of it wasn't. It was like the full sheet was too hard to work with, especially if you're doing labels. You don't really need to work with the full sheet. So what I did on this one was I cut them out in 6s or 4s or whatever, just enough for my iron. And my paint, I used this. I had this old I don't know, this old lace napkin or something. So what I did was I just put it down, and I pressed, and then I did some other stuff. Came back, kept pressing, making sure it was pressed. And when I looked at the edges, I didn't want any edges up. Then I let it cool. Then when I peeled it off, it came out. I think I used them all pretty much. There's one. This is the only one that I have left. It came out pretty good. It came out like this. Now I left a little space here because this is where I want to put it in the seam right here. But you know, I could really put it in the seam here, you know, on there. It really, the orientation doesn't really matter. But this was a quick and easy way to do labels, especially if you're not if you're just doing a few items, you know, for here and there. This was a great way. And the back of the scrap paper, scrap material too, worked well. So I really liked using the iron-on labels. I saw this somewhere because I had gotten a I had looked about labels. So I thought it'd be nice to put my labels in my stuff. But the whole labels are expensive, and you gotta get quite a bit. And I you know, I don't really want it as a business. You know, I like to sew, and I like to, you know, do things like that. And I want my stuff to look a certain way. But as you know, I don't really spend a lot of money on stuff. So, easy way to do labels. Get an iron-on transfer. This is iron-on transfer for inkjet printers. Yeah. And there's 10 in here, and I think I spent $1.99 for my 10. But I'm going to keep my eye out for it. And 10 sheets of this will be probably all I need. I don't sew for people. I mean, I'll start putting labels in my clothes too, just because I can. Anyway, but yeah. Okay, bye YouTube.